Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. I will probably have this video out Monday, so I apologize that I'm not going to be on the uplifting side trying to help you get some positive vibes going on Monday, the beginning of the week. So I do apologize. This is going to be a kind of, I don't want to say negative video, but definitely disappointing because basically in this video we're going to be talking about Banjo-Kazooie. If you are a Banjo-Kazooie fan, you can let it be heard down in the comments if you know what's up. Basically, what happened is, I saw it on 4th of July. I don't know exactly when it came about, but I did see it on Twitter. 4th of July, I saw a handful of articles. I picked one out that we're going to go over, and it's essentially talking about the original, or I don't know about original, but the rare devs from back in the day. I don't know how many of them are still there, if any, because it's like 2 decades ago. But basically, in today's video, we're just going to be going over this article, and I'm going to take some chunks and show you guys what has been said by some of those devs that worked on Banjo-Kazooie and such, and the composer Grant Kirkhope. It's mostly, I think, if not all his quotes, just saying how they don't think there is a fan base for the franchise anymore. The Baron Bird, they just don't think that there's anybody out there really that interested, or at least not enough people. They think it's a small bubble that kind of with a loud voice or something. So we'll be going over it today. Stick around if you're interested. I am, and definitely let it be heard down below if you are, one of those people. I encourage people to go on all kinds of platforms and, let it be heard that we want this franchise in an era of gaming where there's like a renaissance of remakes and remasters and all that such. It's disappointing to hear that this franchise won't be making a return. So we'll be going over it. But first, I hope you all are doing well on this fine day. I am your Statistax. I generally put out 1 to 2 videos a week, and I do anything gaming, whether it's retrospectives, reviews, playthroughs, anything. And I always love hearing from all of you, getting recommendations and all that. So you can always do that down below in the comment section, or we can have discussions and whatnot over on Twitter and Instagram, linked in the description below. So with that, let's get right into it. Okay, so because this is an older franchise we're talking about here, old games, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of your Statistax lore. So when I was just a wee lad, probably, I don't even know, like 3 years old, maybe 2, I don't know, probably 3 if I had to guess. My mother came home one day with a Nintendo 64, and I have 2 older brothers, so they played it a lot, and I did, but obviously being like 3 years old, my playability was limited. However, my stepmom will tell you that because she came into the picture when I was like 4 to 5, she'll tell you that I pretty much grew up learning how to read by playing video games. Like, I mean, I read books and stuff and like practiced with that, but like she would say that there's words that I would struggle with that when I got to a video game, I could just read it completely fine in the video game. I don't know, weird thing, but yeah, my stepmom will swear up and down that that's how it was when I was a child. And so our first video game ever was Diddy Kong Racing, actually, but another one of the first of video games we had was Banjo-Kazooie, and I grew up playing that game time in, time again. It's a big part of my childhood, so that's why I'm here making this video today. I love and adore this franchise. Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie have some of my fondest memories as a child, just linked to it with hanging out with my brothers and my cousins and playing this game, taking turns playing, fighting over who gets to play. All kinds of different memories are just linked to this game. The nostalgia that I get when I hear the different tracks, and Grant Kirkhope is like an absolute titan of a composer. The music in this game is amazing, the tracks are incredible, and it's just, when I hear them, it's like flooding with nostalgia. It just washes over me, and it's like I'm anywhere from 5 to 10 years old all over again, and it's a really special game slash franchise to me. So that's why I'm here today, making this video, discussing the importance and why I think this game stands, this franchise should stand up and be deserving of a remake, or at least a remaster, and really just test the water. you know? I think it was 4th of July, maybe the day after, I don't remember which day. I was on Twitter and I saw that and I was like going crazy, just posting, reposting. I probably had like 3 or 4 posts just talking about Banjo-Kazooie, and you know, all this stuff. So anyways, while I was on there, you know, I caught a couple of articles being posted from different places, and I found this one from VGC that I thought was pretty solid. So let's just take a look here and see what the first bit that I wanted to pull off says here. So it goes on to say here, and despite a $3 million Kickstarter and over 1 million copies sold for their spiritual successor Platonic Games, ukulele composer Grant Kirkhope questioned whether the audience was truly there for a new game. I feel like you'd have to get a team with the humor that we had back then, and that's hard to replicate, he said. I think Rare would be open to somebody if they found the right team, but I don't feel like that team exists. Also, I'm not convinced the audience is there either. I don't feel like there are that many Banjo fans out there. Okay, so now there's a handful of things that I have to say about this. One, I loved ukulele. I did play it, I own it, and I loved it. I would still, even with that, like Banjo-Kazooie to come back. Even if ukulele was super relevant and alive, I would still like to see Banjo-Kazooie come back, because the characters and such, the nostalgia, it's all in Banjo-Kazooie. It's replicated in ukulele, and ukulele was a great game, but I'd just still like to see Banjo-Kazooie come back, and the whole there's not enough fans out there or whatever is kind of BS to me, because think about how many games there are that started out small and exploded with the player base. Now the thing is yes, this is a returning franchise, so they could do low investment type thing where they basically remaster only and see how well it does. But here's the thing is, I think he's just kind of being close-minded with this, because when you get a game that has some kind of cult following type thing, there's gonna be people that are hyped, and those people, it's all word of mouth. Like, it's going to generate hype into others. Like me, I'm gonna be shouting from the rooftops to my friends if there was a remaster, just a remaster, never mind a remake. If it was just a remaster, I'd be shouting from the rooftops for my friends, yo, you need to play this. If you didn't play this as a kid, you need to play that. I mean, I'm just like that. I'm always in my friends' ears about games that I think are great, that I think they should play. It's probably annoying to them, but I do it all the time, and half the time they end up liking them. So it's just one of those things where, like, I think he's kind of underselling it. It's like Animal Crossing comes to mind for me. None of my friends played Animal Crossing for the GameCube or any other device. And when it came out for the Switch, it was easily one of the most popular games, and still is. It's still incredibly popular, Animal Crossing New Horizons. And that was all, I think, just word of mouth. I think that was a lot of people that played Animal Crossing games in their childhoods and said, hey, take a look at this game, I think you'd like it. And just a lot of that going on, and people being like, oh, that game looks fun, like, oh, we can see each other's worlds, that's cool. Stuff like that. That kind of thing inspires other people, and I think that's what would happen with Banjo-Kazooie. I think a lot of people that had played the game as a kid rave and rant about how excited they are for this game. It gets other people excited, it brings in that community, but when you don't have any content, there's nothing to get excited about. So how can you say there's not a fan base out there when you haven't even given it the chance for there to be a fan base out there? There's no content to really even give off the vibe of, hey, yeah, that's a pretty big fan base waiting for us. This is a franchise that hasn't had a game since 2008. And then when it did have that game in 2008, it was kind of mediocre compared to the first two that were just home runs under Nintendo. That was when Xbox acquired them and they made Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. So it just wasn't as big of a hit. If you remake or remaster an original, one of like a fan favorite, which is Banjo-Kazooie, the original, people are gonna go nuts. People are going to go nuts. I mean, people have been requesting that it shows up somewhere and pumping in hopium that this game has something show up, this franchise has something show up at like an E3 type event. and it just hasn't. And it's been year over year where there's like these small murmurs of people being like, hey, I hear something about Banjo, like, you know, no. It's all just random crap. So the next thing I want to read to y'all is, quote, the whole Smash Bros thing was spectacular. It really was. I think all the team that worked on that game had a tear in their eye when Banjo turned up in Smash Bros. It was just an unbelievable release of emotions. Seeing all those fans crying on videos was heartwarming, and we all felt it. That was a once-in-a-lifetime event when that happened. But it still feels like, is there that multi-million-dollar thing with Banjo-Kazooie? I'm not convinced there is. Okay, so they see that this fan's jumping for joy because a character, not a game, a character is going to a game. I mean, you can look it up and down. You can look it up and down. Yeah. You can look it up. There are people in videos jumping up and down out of excitement for Banjo and Kazooie being a character in Super Smash Bros. That is a hell of a lot of excitement for just a DLC character that, you know, will have its shine in the limelight until it gets overpowered by another power creeping DLC character. Sorry, I had to do that. But anyways, so I mean, Banjo-Kazooie, it's one of those things where, like, if a game got announced, imagine the excitement that would come out of people. Imagine, like, people would go absolutely nuts for it, and again, it's that one person's excitement rubs off on another, and then suddenly you got not one person excited, but maybe 2, 3, 4 people. Like, I'm in a Discord every day almost with 4 or 5 people that I talk to consistently, and I'm certain that I get probably at least one other person excited for this franchise. I mean, heck, I got my one of my buddies to play it through the freaking cloud, which was a terrible time. He kind of wishes he had a better way to play it, and that's the thing, is like, yeah, okay, I can go to the cloud and play it. Try playing a platformer through cloud with latency and stuff, I dare you. It's not a fun time. It's not the best experience by any means. Yeah, it needs to be remade. Or remastered. I would love, I'm gonna jump the gun here and just go ahead in the video because I just want to get this out there. I put on Twitter saying I think it would be a great fit for Embracer Group because they have done absolutely spectacular with like 90% of their remasters, remakes, all that. SpongeBob is a shining example of how good they are with taking an IP and remaking or remastering and then staying faithful and making a sequel. It's awesome. It's such a good idea. It's the low investment way to, you know, test the waters and see if people are truly interested in this franchise. And then not only that, but because they had their hands in the game, working with it, tweaking it, making it more modernized, they also got a feel for what that franchise is, how it was to make it, how they, you know, were when they made the characters, like, what, you know what I mean? The mechanics of the game, things like this, like, they really get a feel for how the game was made, and then they have an idea and they have that mindset on how to make another one. And that's a genius way to do it. That's a genius way to revive a franchise, in my opinion. It's that low risk, high reward type of move. And so I just think Embracer Group would be a brilliant way to go to get this franchise back in motion. Again, whether they remake or remaster, Embracer Group would do it, and I think they would do an excellent job. Now, speaking of companies that they would trust to do this, let's take a look here. Now, Grant Kirkhope concluded by stating that he believed one studio that could do justice to Banjo Revival could be one of his old collaborators. Now, here he says, quote, I have to say, having worked with Ubisoft Milan, I hope I'm saying that right, on the 2 Mario Rabbids games, I believe that they would make a great Banjo game. I've said it to them a couple of times. I really feel like they've got that passion that we had back in the day at Rare. I didn't think I'd meet anybody that had that passion, but I really feel they have. Now, okay, so here's my feelings on that personally. Now, the Mario Rabbids games I haven't played, but I've heard really good things about. On the other hand, I am not a Ubisoft fan at all. I pretty much hate Ubisoft. I think that they have gone way downhill over the years, and they have become super anti-consumer, and they have just done a lot of really nasty things as a company, or at least tried to. They haven't, some things they kind of walked back on after so much backlash, but either way, it's not my favorite pick. But here's the thing is, they know that dev team better than I. So if they think this is the team that does it best, they probably know better than I do. You know, I mean, I'm not a dev, I don't claim to be, and I don't claim to know any of these devs. So maybe this specific team under Microsoft is, you know, one of those needles in the haystack kind of thing. I don't know. You know, I guess either we'll find out or we never will. Who knows? I mean, that's the disappointing and frustrating part of all of this. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm not buying that because it's made by them. No, I would probably still buy it, to be honest. I'd have to try it. If there was a Banjo-Kazooie remake, remaster, I would have to try it no matter who made it, because the child in me demands it. The 5-year-old me absolutely demands to be able to play this game in any kind of modern day system. So let me know what y'all think. That's pretty much everything I had to say on the subject. I'm curious to hear from all of you. Does this, you know, make you disappointed, frustrated? Do you want to see a remaster, remake? Is there one that, you know, is like kind of like you need a remake over a remaster or something? Do you think we will get one at some point? Just let me know down below. Let me know. I want to hear from all of you. So with that, if y'all stayed till this point, I seriously super duper appreciate y'all. And if you're looking for a more uplifting video, then check out the one I got here on this end screen, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.
Oh!